And they shut me off. It's the third time they shut me off in 5 minutes.
It took you half the time to get to a location. So we've regressed, and we're going to progress. Okay? Right. Sort of an amazing.
Please thumb up the video. Please thumb up the video.
Wall Street, they haven't
Please
done that. If Goldman Sachs was
share
like
it
that,
out.
you wouldn't have Goldman Sachs
Please
anymore.
subscribe to the channel. All you're gonna get with me is truth and awareness.
To address the situation in Los Angeles. Are you going to deploy Marines in California?
We'll see what happens. I mean, I think we
No,
are
he is,
very well under control.
look, they're after us, guys.
It was heading in the wrong direction.
After
It's still heading in
us,
the right direction.
indigenous
And we hope to have the support of
autochtons,
Gavin, because Gavin's the big
Moors.
beneficiary as we straighten out his problems. I mean, his state is a mess, and I'd like to get somebody involved in the rail because
all they want
should
is
have never been
us.
built.
This a
You can
whole
fly there for
play.
$2, and what are you doing? They're doing
It's a whole acting
you
they
could drive,
doing.
you could do
They
lots of
acting.
different things. You
I
know,
don't believe none of it.
they did a study. If you gave every passenger the finest limousine service in the history of our world, the most expensive chauffeur-driven, white-glove limousine service back and forth, we would have saved billions of dollars as opposed to building this monstrosity that's going up.
Please tell me the video,
I've never
y'all,
seen anything.
please.
You know, I've seen cost overruns.
So I can get in the algorithm, please,
I've
y'all.
always done well on cost overruns. I don't
The
have
truth,
them.
man.
But I will tell you, I have never
The
seen
truth
cost
is
overruns.
what's winning right now.
20% more, 50%, 100%.
I don't believe none of this
These are
shit.
thousands of percent.
It don't
Nobody
even make
knows. They
sense
have No
now.
idea. And it was supposed to be from San
It's a
Francisco
distraction.
to Los Angeles. Well, they just made
Trump
it
doing
way
a whole-
outside
Trump
of
doing a
Los
whole bunch of
Angeles,
other
where
stuff,
It's
too.
stopping in the middle of. I don't want to say
Trump
nowhere
is
because I
doing
happen to
a
like one of
bunch
those little
of
cities
other
very
stuff
much.
that we
But
don't
it's
know
way
about.
short of the
While we
destination.
worrying about this,
And our government
he
is
doing
saying,
something
why are
else.
we involved in this thing? It's been handled so badly before him, but he really blew it. So, all right, one more question.
Speak to any discussions that were had there and the purpose of that retreat, your time at Camp David.
On a what?
Your time at Camp David, can you speak to what discussions were had there and the purpose of that retreat?
It's a whole play. I don't believe none of this
I
stuff,
told you
man.
what we were there for a little bit.
It's a whole
we
play.
had discussions on many topics. We had a group of people, large group of people, including generals and admirals and lots
Make
of others.
fake videos,
And all I can
put
say
up
is our country's
fake
in great shape.
everything
We're in great
to
shape
try to
economically.
manipulate our
The
minds
bill that Mike
while they
and Jason and all the people are working on is
working
gonna
on
be, I
other
think,
things they don't want you to know
amazing. I
about.
think it's going to be one of the most important
I'm
pieces
just
of
ready to show y'all
legislation
one.
we've ever had in this country. It's going to do things that you wouldn't believe, and we're going to, I have a very simple phrase. We ran an election on very simple words: make America great again. That's what we're doing. We're making it great. We're making it safe. We're making it beautiful, and we're making it very wealthy again. Wealth is okay. You need wealth.
Yeah, but y'all wasn't
take care of
here.
lots of other people. We have to make our country
We.
better. It has to heal from.
You
4
an
years of
immigrant. What are you
abuse.
talking
Our
about?
country was abused badly by a very incompetent person.
You're
and a group of people
incompetent.
that weren't
If
incompetent,
you
but they
think
were
that
radical left lunatics.
we,
And they ran the country with
all you
no
did was
plan.
pick cotton and
And
got sugar
I
cane
hope
from it.
that law
Read book,
enforcement's looking at that
white
very seriously. That's like a
cargo,
takeover of our country in a
Britain's
certain way.
unwanted
Because
white
this guy had no
slaves
idea
in
what he was
America.
doing. You saw that during
Read the
debate.
book.
You saw that in
Internet
other-
archive,
He had no
free
idea. I
book.
saw it years ago. By the way, 40 years ago he had no. He was bad 40 years
We.
ago. We're not just talking about. And they always like to say age, but
Truth
it's not age.
News,
I know
man,
people
with
88,
PTM
89,
720.
92.
Truth
Bernie
News.
Marcus, who just passed away, was 95. I spoke to him a year before.
With
He was 100%.
PTM
It's not age,
720.
it's something else, but whatever it is, you can't
Only
have that
thing you
in
getting
this
on my
country.
channel is the
The
truth.
damage he's done to this
I
country
don't
is
believe
unbelievable.
none of
But
this.
the good
I
news
believe
is
it's a whole play.
we've got much of it fixed already.
What's going on while
The
we
rest of
worrying
it
about
will
this?
happen.
Prime
This is a
Minister Netanyahu,
distraction.
you just mentioned Iran. Did you discuss Iran? Did you discuss the
discussed
the Gaza war?
They
Yeah,
not
we
doing
discussed a lot of
nothing.
things, and it went very well, very smooth. We'll see what happens.
They
We're
just
trying
plotting
to
and planning
do something
and
with
using a fear
the
tactic
country we
with
just
us.
spoke about, Iran. I think you should negotiate this. You might be better. I think I'm going to send you today. What a
See?
good idea. This could have been the idea
Yeah,
of the
no-
day.
yeah, no ball
Let
with this
Derek
stuff,
get up
man.
and negotiate.
Please tell me the video, y'all.
Negotiators, but
Please,
they're tough.
please,
Sometimes it
y'all.
can be too tough. That's the problem. So we're
Somebody
trying
said,
to,
what the hell?
we're trying to make a deal
Tyranny,
so
what the
that,
hell?
there's no destruction and death. Yeah, we told him that, and I've told him that, and I hope that's the way it works out, but it might not work out that way. We'll soon find out. Yeah, please.
2020, when you were talking about unrest in American cities, you said, quote, "We have to go by the laws. We can't call in the National Guard unless we're requested by a governor." What changed now? Why is this situation different?
I don't play games. Y'all gotta understand, I'm a man, bro, first. And I'm spiritually connected, and I have knowledge of self. And I come from a very, very big family that I happen to be the general of. I'm not the one that you want to play with, all right? Because all doors are covered. We know that all you dirty rat bags, all y'all do is come through the back door, because y'all can't deal with it straight up. Never. Y'all always running and hiding and coming in the back door and sneaking up on us. But y'all ain't going to do nothing straight up in our face, because y'all know y'all scared the shit of us, and y'all better not. Everything is sneaky. All this shit is sneaky. This whole war is phony. They're not doing nothing, man. They're just using the fear tactic on us so we will implode. Facts. Facts.
But not very much. Yeah, please.
Have you gotten what crime has Governor committed?
A crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor, because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country. And that's pretty bad. It's the wrong philosophy.
I mean, Trump has his good
hundreds of
points,
thousands of illegal immigrants, many of them
at the end of the
prisoners. They're
day,
taking up your health care, they're taking up your
you
space
know who
in
he's gonna
schools,
ride
they're taking
with,
up
his
your
own.
hospital. And in many cases, they're criminals. And we have to do something about it. And we're doing something about it. I want to thank the incredible patriots of ICE and
the immigrant,
who's been incredible, and Kristi Noem, likewise incredible. The job they're doing. And it's like an unforced error. There was no reason for this. 21 million people were allowed into our country, and many of those people were criminals. And it's a shame. It's a shame. But we're getting them out.
Y'all are the biggest criminals.
I will say I think it's a 95 to 5 issue.
Shut up.
Just like so many other issues, 95
all the stuff y'all be doing, man.
And the Democrats lost an election in a landslide because they're on the wrong side of the issues. I mean, it's not even conceivable that somebody would do the kind of things that he did. And then, you talk about projects. They want to build a train going from San Francisco to LA, and it's costing hundreds of billions of dollars more than they thought it was going to cost. It's not even believable. To Brad and to people sitting here, would you believe that a train that was going to cost X dollars, and it might be 100 times X,
would have paid for this for about 50 million American children?
You're right.
50 million American children instead of a 3-mile train track that never got built.
We could have put Lincoln in charge with no experience. He would have done a good job. I guarantee you that. All right, please, Peter.
Mr. President, have you gotten an update from your negotiating?
Thank you, President Trump. So it seems like Gavin Newsom likes the attention that he's getting right now from you.
Yeah,
it seems like he does.
Where the Morris flag at?
If you look at recent history, somebody who was running for president, you, who got arrested and had a mugshot.
Oh, that's right. I just said that.
That wound up helping you. Are you worried at all at this moment? The talking about him getting arrested could be helpful to his political prospects, because a lot of people think he wants to be sitting right where you are.
Well, in my case, it was a witch hunt, and everybody knew it, and I was able to explain that during the process. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. And it was a total witch hunt. It's proven to be a witch hunt, and you see what's happened. In his case, it really is very obvious. You look at what's happened between the fires, I could name 10 things right now. We talk about the trains. We talk about all of the costs in California. You talk about all of the people that are flowing and destroying life for everyone else. So, no, I don't think it's going to help them. I think
tariffs destroying life for everyone else.
Right around the time that we were walking in,
tariffs.
The governor and the state attorney general said that they're going to sue you for sending the National Guard in. They're saying there's no invasion, there's no rebellion. The president is trying to manufacture chaos and crisis on the ground for his own political ends, federalizing the California
Hi, Mr. Wonderful here. I don't waste
Queen
time, and I
Khalifa.
definitely advise her and the sheriff.
It's interesting. You watch the same clips as I did. Cars burning all over the place, people riding. And by the way, we stopped it. We were able to make it much better, but it still looked pretty bad. And in watching clips last night, people were saying this is really a big problem. And until we went in, if we didn't do the job, that place would be burning down just like the houses burned down. They were in big trouble last night, Peter. You know it. And the night before, and the night before that. And I feel we had no choice.
It's just a whole play. I don't believe it.
I don't want to see happen what happened so many times in this country. I watched Minneapolis burn. I watched look at what happened in so many different parts of
Oklahoma.
You take a look at what happened in San Diego. There's so many different places where we let it burn. We want to be politically correct. We want to be nice.
All of the buildings in Black Wall Street.
And what you're doing is destroying the fabric of our life in this country.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We did the right thing. We've been given credit by people that I would least suspect. I would say that some of the people that came out and said, thank goodness, they said, some of them, thank God that Trump got involved. And I'm very happy I got involved. And I think Gavin is always probably happy I got involved.
Well, what do you make of the fact that he says, you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No, that's just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him. And I liked him. I always got along with him. Never had a problem with him. But he's grossly incompetent. Okay.
You are too.
In London. Have you gotten an update from your team in London negotiating?
What? Louder.
Have you gotten an update from your team in London negotiating the China trade talks?
We are doing well with China. China's not easy. Just like your home country is not easy there.
Not easy nowhere, man.
They're over there now. I'm only getting good reports. It's a little early, but they'll be calling in soon. In fact,
all
probably when I get back, I'll
tariffs.
have my first call from them. We want to open up China.
The business world
and if
upside
we don't open
down.
Up China, maybe we won't do anything, but we want to open up China. It'll be a great thing for China, a great thing for the rest of the world.
Are you willing to lift export controls when it comes to China? Did you give your negotiators any sort of limitation?
We're going to see. Look, China has
We're going to see.
the United States for many years. Nobody charged them 10 cents. No president.
One thing I know about Trump, man, real business savvy.
I took in hundreds of billions of dollars. I put on tariffs on China when I got in first term, and we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. And
see,
I did it again.
He doesn't
overstand a lot of others. If you look at the stats, the deficit last month was cut in half.
The father of the universe
was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I think a lot of people at this table weren't, because they saw the billions of dollars that were pouring in, and the tariffs hadn't even started yet. Just about. They weren't cars. They were in some countries at a very minor level.
The whole nine, man.
We cut the deficit in half, and it was a big story a couple of days ago. They said, I don't believe one of the announcers on a business network went wild, said, I can't believe these numbers. Those numbers are good.
Let us run
very good. I think we're
our
going to have a
own
great 4
homeland.
years. We had the greatest economy in history during my 4 years. I think this one's going to blow it away.
It's been wrong ever since y'all been here.
Mr. President, do you have a message
ever
for
since
Greta
y'all been here,
Thunberg,
that's
and
when
did she come
everything
up on your
went
call
wrong.
with the Prime Minister today?
Well, she's a strange person. She's a young, angry person. I don't know if it's
Other than that,
it's hard to believe,
we was doing
actually.
great
I saw
on
what
our own.
happened.
Until we signed the treaty, peace and friendship,
Anger
man.
management. I think she has to go to an anger management
This is how I
class.
feel, man.
That's my primary
Me,
recommendation.
I wouldn't
for her.
sign nothing.
By Israel, as she says? Was she kidnapped?
I find it. I think Israel has enough problems without kidnapping Greta Thunberg.
Which Israel? Which one? Some of the one that's established in 1948?
Are you going to get rid
They
of
ain't the real one. Ain't it ancient?
service that you
Oh
have
my
here at the
goodness!
White
All right,
House?
let me get some of this
I
real
haven't
quick.
heard that.
All right, now he says Israel, right? Israel. Google right now. When was Israel established? It's supposed to be ancient, right? It's supposed to be ancient, right? Well, look at it. Comment below. 1948 AD or 948 AD. Because along with their other trickster stuff, they put 1,000 years on the timeline to fake us out with a bunch of lies and stories and myth and lore. Lies, like you're doing that. Same thing. Always lower self. Lower self is finite. It always dies out. Please thumb up the video, please, so we can get the truth in the algorithm, please. Share it and subscribe to the channel. Peace.
Israeli forces who are trying to get in from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Yes.
Gaza right now is in the midst of a massive negotiation between us and Hamas and Israel, and Iran is involved. And we'll see what's going to happen with Gaza. We want to get the hostages back. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, please.
Just be ready. Just in case. Be ready. But I'm going to say
taking place on True Social a bit later. You said they were insurrectionists. After what you said.
You're talking about in LA?
Yes, sir. In LA.
I wouldn't call it quite an insurrection, but it could have led to an insurrection. I mean, that was a lot of harm that was going on last night. I watched it very closely, and it was amazing that the job that the National Guard did. And by the way, the police were working very hard also. But the police are given instructions to be politically correct. I said, no, you don't have to be politically correct. You have to do the job.
It's the problem, man. It's the problem, man.
Which one?
Let me pause for a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. The problem is this, man. They keep lying about who are the true allodials of America. It's the so-called African Americans. The so-called. But we are Moors. Yes, I'm a Moor. Right? Like Mohawk. Like Mohican. Like Moab. It's in Utah. Moab. And Mount Nebo. Yeah, Moses always went to Moab to talk to the Father of the universe. So this whole beef that's going on, man, for real, it's about them telling the truth and giving us our stuff back that they took from us when they colonized us. That is what's going on, man. The only reason why Israel not is getting bombed the way it is because they usurped us. And it's fake. It's not in the real place. That's why. The real place is in America. The real promised land. And we are the people of promise that sprung from the land. This land, America. The so-called black people, what you want to call them? No. Moor. I'm a Moor. Okay? I'm an Ottoman, Moroccan, Moorish, American, Muslim. M-O. Mo. This is what the whole beef is. There was never no, Trump said, we want to bring the golden ages back to the U.S. It ain't never been no golden ages of the U.S., drunk. It ain't. Never been. But I can tell you what it's been. It's been a golden age of the Moors. Read book. The golden age of the Moors. Come on, man. Look at the Amexa map. The Amexa map. Man, look, all y'all know this. Y'all know this already. Everybody knows this. This whole everything with Ibrahim Traoré standing up for cable land. Bro, that's what it is. We're tired of you guys taking, stealing, and robbing from our homeland. We are Tachtons. We are originals, or we are originals. I am a South Carolinian, a Turk, where the oldest body in the world was found at. Okay? This is what the problem is. They keep dancing around it, but they keep forgetting about one thing. What's that? the father of the universe. He's not going to let evil win. Evil never wins.
And as you know, Hitler made a speech at the Eiffel Tower. But when I spoke to President Macron, he said, "Oh, we are celebrating the great victory of World War II." And I think that's great that he was doing it. But we're the one that won it, and we weren't celebrating. I said to myself, isn't that crazy? And I think it's time for us to celebrate a little bit. You know, we've had a lot of victories. We won 2 world wars, and then we go out and change the name of the forts where we won the wars. You go out.
They were our forts.
World wars from Fort Robert E. Lee.
It was more
Fort
forts.
Bragg, from all the different
forts.
What do? We change the name.
Even
of the
the
forts
military is from the Ottoman.
So
us.
Then we're changing
the
back
Naga military.
Fort Bragg and others.
Come on, man, stop lying, man.
I think it's a time to celebrate our military.
We know, bro. We know the truth.
Little low on ammunition. That's why very fast other countries, one in particular,
y'all keep going through.
We'll get that back very quickly.
All the stuff y'all going through.
We have a military the likes of which nobody has. Nobody comes close. We have the best equipment in the world.
Allah said, enough is enough.
There's no military like
y'all
our
had
military.
enough fun.
We showed that with ISIS. I was told by the television
now it's time for you to get the people their stuff back.
To win, and we did it in 3 weeks. And it was headed by General Raisin Kane, who's now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's great. Just left him.
Share the video.
I think it's time that we celebrate.
Let's get the truth tellers.
I sort of have to laugh at these people. Well, you're going to spend a lot of money. A lot of that money is being paid for by me and people that make donations. I don't know if you know that. A lot of it won't even come out of the military. I think I can say that, Susie.
Thank you. First, just thumb up the video. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Money to do it. Not that it's necessary.
I put myself on the line to bring y'all the truth.
Not sure if you saw the news, but Fox News is calling President Trump.
All right, so let's pause on this for a minute, y'all. I want y'all to hear something else. I tried to set up my both of my so look, check this out. While we're doing this, right? Fighting, talking about wars and all this, right? News about Trump digging in Greenland, right? 2 hours ago, MSN says Trump's Arctic ambitions extend beyond Greenland. He's also looking to buy icebreakers. I wonder why. Trying to get on the other side of the ice wall? Is that what you're trying to... We know it's a little small slit through it. Would you try to make the slit bigger? We know there are worlds beyond the poles. We know. So check this out. Check this out. Mr. Morgan Freeman. Hold up. Mr. Morgan Freeman, y'all. Just give me 1 sec. Hold up. Bear with me. Okay, y'all want to play those games? Gotcha. Here we go. Okay.
The world is watching. The headlines scream peace, the leaders shake hands, and the cameras capture the smiles.
Morgan
behind the bright lights,
Freeman.
Something feels off.
More.
You feel it too, don't you?
Free.
That quiet voice inside whispering,
man,
is this real? Or is it just another show? For decades, Iran and Israel have danced on the edge of war. Shadow strikes, assassinations, proxy battles, nuclear threats. And now, suddenly, a ceasefire. Just like that. But let me tell you something. Peace doesn't come easy between enemies soaked in decades of blood, fear, and betrayal. This isn't just about two nations. This is about global power plays, secret deals, and agendas that reach far beyond what they show you on the screen. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain. Today, we're going to dive into the real truth they don't want you to see. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this so-called peace might just be the most dangerous illusion of all. Hostility between Iran and Israel didn't begin with one airstrike or one speech. It's the result of decades of deep-rooted tension, shaped by ideology, history, and the pursuit of power in a region that has never known lasting peace. Since the Islamic Revolution of 1979, Iran's stance on Israel has been crystal clear. It does not recognize the legitimacy of the Israeli state. This ideological opposition is not just political, it's theological, rooted in a worldview that sees Israel as an illegitimate occupier and the West as complicit in its support. Iran's leaders have repeatedly condemned Israel's treatment of Palestinians and have positioned themselves as the defenders of oppressed Muslims across the region, particularly Gaza and the West Bank. On the other hand, Israel sees Iran as its greatest existential threat in the modern era. The concern isn't just about Iran's military capabilities or its support for proxy groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. It's about Iran's growing influence across the Middle East, its nuclear ambitions, and its consistent rhetoric that challenges Israel's very right to exist. Over the years, Israel has carried out numerous covert operations against Iranian assets, including the assassinations of nuclear scientists, sabotage of nuclear facilities, and cyber attacks meant to slow down Iran's technological progress. Iran has responded by from Lebanon to Yemen and positioning itself as a direct counterforce to Israel's dominance. This cycle of escalation has created a climate where both nations exist in a constant state of high alert. It's not a declared war, but it's a war in every sense. A shadow conflict fought through proxies, misinformation, sabotage, and the occasional open strike. Syria has become one of the key battlegrounds where this conflict plays out, with Israeli jets frequently targeting Iranian positions while Iran continues to entrench its presence. The animosity is baked into their military doctrines, their foreign policies, and even their national identity. This long-standing hostility, any announcement of a ceasefire must be met with skepticism. The wounds are too deep, the history too bloody, the trust too absent. What we're seeing today may be presented to the world as a breakthrough, but underneath it lies a reality that's been building for over 40 years, one where neither side has ever truly laid down its weapons, only moved them back into the shadow. History like this doesn't end with a handshake or a headline. It lingers, it simmers, and sometimes it just waits for the next spark.
Every great business starts with 3 simple letters.
I started an LLC. I paid $200,000 but starting my own business.
Behind the scenes of the Iran-Israel ceasefire, powerful global forces are constantly maneuvering, each with their own interests that often have little to do with peace and everything to do with control. The Middle East has always been a chessboard for larger powers, and this ceasefire is no exception.
All right, scientists. All right, masterminds. Check this out. I'm listening to an elder. He's building with me one day, right? About 2 days ago, I'm working. He said to me, this is our assistant grand sheik. So he's super smart, about 76, something like that. So me, I respect him, I listen to him, okay? So he said, they say life is like a game of chess, right? They say life is like a game of chess, right? He said, I say no. And I was like, why are they saying no? He said, because the king should always be able to move. If you really think about it, if you know about chess, if the pawns don't move out the way, the king can't move. The general, the king, always has to move, be able to move, no matter what. Nothing can't be in its way. You got to be able to move. Yes. Then I got sent home. All my youngins sent me home, man. He said,
the United States, as Israel's strongest ally, has a vested interest in maintaining a level of stability while simultaneously ensuring that its strategic partner remains dominant in the region. For years, the U.S. has supported Israel's security concerns regarding Iran, providing military aid, intelligence, and diplomatic cover at international forums. Yet, as America's own domestic challenges mount, and its appetite for direct military involvement abroad wanes, Washington has quietly pushed for de-escalation, not out of principle, but out of necessity. At the same time, Russia and China observe this conflict from their own strategic vantage points. Russia, deeply involved in Syria and maintaining military alliances with both Iran and the Assad regime, benefits from a weakened but active conflict that allows it to remain a critical player in Middle Eastern politics. A full-scale war between Israel would destabilize Russia's interests, particularly in Syria, where it operates alongside Iranian forces. Therefore, Russia quietly supports any agreement that keeps tensions controlled without completely eliminating them. This balancing act allows Moscow to maintain leverage over both sides. China's role is more economically driven, as Iran's largest oil customer and a growing player in global energy markets. China has invested heavily in keeping Iranian oil flowing despite Western sanctions. A destabilized Iran threatens China's energy security. So Beijing has an interest in preventing an all-out war while strengthening its ties with Tehran through long-term economic and infrastructure agreements. At the same time, China maintains growing economic relations with Israel, particularly in technology and infrastructure projects. This dual engagement gives China increasing influence over both nations without directly taking sides. The European Union, while less militarily involved, also has a stake in preventing escalation. A wider conflict could trigger refugee crises, disrupt global oil markets, and further destabilize an already fragile global economy.
Too much on the
Therefore,
line.
European nations often support ceasefire initiatives, not as a solution to the conflict's root causes, but as a temporary measure to avoid immediate consequences that could ripple across the continent. In the end, these global powers apply pressure behind closed doors, using diplomacy, trade deals, and political leverage to steer both Iran and Israel into temporary agreements. But these agreements serve their own agendas first. Real peace is secondary to stability, and stability often means maintaining a fragile artificial calm while the deeper issues remain unresolved, waiting for the next geopolitical shift to reignite flames. Beneath the surface of high-level negotiations and public declarations, both Iran and Israel face significant domestic pressures that heavily influence their decisions on whether to engage in conflict or pursue temporary peace. For Iran, years of crushing economic sanctions have taken a severe toll on its population. Inflation has soared, unemployment has risen, and many ordinary citizens struggle to secure basic necessities. The country's leadership faces growing frustration from segments of the population who feel the economic pain most sharply. Protests have erupted in various cities over issues ranging from fuel prices to political, but because prolonged conflict risks steepening domestic unrest that could challenge their grip on power. At the same time, Israel too confronts its own internal challenges. The political landscape in Israel has become increasingly fractured.
Not even the real Israel, the fake one.
Instability.
Ain't even real.
Divisive issues such as judicial reforms, Palestinian territories, and public protests against controversial policies
established
have
in
consumed much of the nation's
1948.
attention. Maintaining a constant stir and create an atmosphere of perpetual anxiety among civilians who live under the constant threat of missile attacks.
Right.
Both governments understand that a sudden escalation into full-scale war could spiral beyond their control. control, potentially inviting broader regional involvement and drawing in unpredictable consequences. Therefore, while they maintain their postures of strength and defiance publicly, behind closed doors, there are powerful incentives for both sides to negotiate ceasefires, or at least pauses, in open hostility. These pauses provide breathing room to manage domestic issues, consolidate power, and rebuild internal stability before the next round of tensions inevitably surfaces. Economic realities also play a role in these calculations. Iran, desperate to maintain some level of international trade and financial relief, often uses de-escalation efforts to open diplomatic doors that might ease sanctions, even if temporarily. Israel, dependent on a strong economy to support its technological and defense industries, also benefits from periods of calm that reassure investors and international partners. In this sense,
also, all the dope and coke and guns that they selling also. Because we know all about the Ashkenazi Jewish mafia. We know about it, man. We know all about y'all, man. Y'all were the ones that established Israel in 1948. Y'all usurped it and stole it from us, the people that look like me and him. Facts.
Since both sides occasionally see the value of a staged agreement, not as a step toward genuine peace, but as a tactical move to stabilize their internal landscapes while keeping their long-term strategic goals unchanged. These men in Israel may agree to a ceasefire on paper. The reality on the ground tells a different story. One of the most significant reasons the conflict remains unresolved is the continued activity of proxy groups that operate across the region with direct or indirect support from Iran. These groups are not bound by diplomatic negotiations or official ceasefires. They exist outside the limits of formal statecraft, driven by ideology, long-term grievances, and strategic goals that often align with Iran's interests, but operate independently. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Gaza, and the Houthis in Yemen are just a few examples of actors who remain active, armed, and engaged, regardless of any temporary pause between Tehran and Tel Aviv. Hezbollah, with its deep military capabilities and political influence in Lebanon, poses a direct and Israel's northern border. Despite ceasefire agreements, its arsenal continues to grow, and its rhetoric remains openly hostile. The group considers itself part of the larger axis of resistance, a coalition bound by a shared commitment to oppose Israeli and Western influence in the region. This ideological framework ensures that even if Iran publicly agrees to de-escalate, groups like Hezbollah feel morally obligated to continue their operations. In Gaza, organizations such as Hamas and Islamic Jihad frequently engage in rocket attacks, border skirmishes, and underground tunnel warfare.
Underground tunnel.
All their actions are directly ordered by Tehran. Iran's financial and logistical support empowers these groups to act in ways that keep pressure on Israel, even during official lulls in hostilities.
Israel puts pressure
this
on
indirect
us.
warfare allows Iran to maintain plausible deniability while continuing to exert influence and destabilize its adversaries through proxy hands. Israel, for its part, does not view these groups as separate from Iran's larger strategic apparatus.
One that was established in 1948.
It considers them extensions of Iranian influence, and often responds to their attacks by targeting Iranian assets in Syria or conducting covert operations aimed at disrupting supply chains and command structures. This means that even if Iran and Israel agree to a ceasefire, the continued activity of these proxies undermines any notion of true peace. Moreover, these groups also respond to developments in the broader Islamic world, reacting to events in Jerusalem, the West Bank, or even outside the Middle East. Their motivations are not always tied directly to Iran-Israel dynamics, but their actions inevitably affect that relationship.
Look, man, both sides are wrong. Both sides are wrong. One of them killed so many children, running through their tunnels and whatnot. And the other small hats, they was running down on all the children, trying to smash all the children. Like your boy Sandusky, the assistant coach with Penn State. Man, he was 70-something years old when he got his time. He was raping all the football players. Guys, man, you guys are crazy out here, man. I don't understand, man. Talk to him, elder. Listen to the elder. Talk, man.
Creates a volatile environment where any act by a proxy can trigger a broader response, effectively rendering official ceasefires symbolic at best.
I don't understand why I got all these people. I know what it is, though. I know what it is. It's a bunch of trolls in my chat, and it's a bunch of just like people to be nosy. Just want to know what's going on. Just want to know what to learn from us. Want to try to see what we know. Check this out. We already know that. All right? Come on, man. We be 5-6 steps ahead of y'all all the time, man. You know what y'all... Come on, man. We gonna tell y'all everything? Hell no. That's what we messed up the first time. Got 18 people in here, 3 thumbs up. How important this is. This is very, 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 very important. If you ain't thumbing it up, that means you the op. So you can gracefully leave if you want to, or you can just stick around and learn some more. But I want my tribute. I need my tribute. Yeah, Bailey. Yeah. Y'all used to pay tribute to us, right? Right? Okay. I want my tribute. Send it through. Peace.
The region exists in a state of fragile calm, always on the edge of renewed conflict. In the world of international politics, appearances often carry...
And secondly, I don't care who it is, man. All doors are covered. Allah, the ancestors, and the fact that I'm a magi and the sheik. Allah got me. So I ain't worrying about all evils cannot deal with the one universal God. None of them.
More weight than reality, and the Iran-Israel ceasefire may be no exception. Ceasefire announcements serve a critical role in shaping global narratives, offering political leaders the chance to project stability, control, and diplomatic maturity to both their domestic audiences and the international community. These staged agreements can ease international criticism, reduce back. On the other hand,
you know another thing I don't like, man. I don't like the fact that, like, why is this so hard for real people to get those kind of political jobs? Like me, because they know when I go in there, I'm gonna make everything right side up. See, all they want around them is Uncle Toms and people that's trying to tear down and destroy, everything for their own personal gain. Right? Always remember, man, Allah is keeping a book of remembrance. Everything that you think, everything that you do, and all of your deeds are being recorded for you on Judgment Day. So you can do all what you want to do and be sneaky and be whatever you want to do, man. Guess what? Allah is all seeing and all knowing. Shit, man. That's it. Enough of the games, man. It's time for them to give us our stuff back. Give us our nobility back. Give us our vice royalty back. Give us our Vicky Mo-ness back. Give all our stuff back. And that is the problem. They don't want to give it back. See? This whole war is about. It's about us being colonized and usurped. But this generation, that's the generation after all of the stuff that happened in the late 60s, man, we know. We read and studied and we ready to get at it. So, man, just please, man, just do right, man. And listen, just do right. Stay out the way and do right. Stay out the way and do right. Stay out the way and do right. Ain't nobody gonna hurt. Allah got us, man. The Father of the universe got us. Watch this. Morgan Freeman gonna say the same thing. Watch this. I ain't even know Morgan Freeman was deep like this.
Often carry more weight than reality, and the Iran-Israel ceasefire may be no exception. Ceasefire announcements serve a critical role in shaping global narratives, offering political leaders the chance to project stability, control, and diplomatic maturity to both their domestic audiences and the international community. These staged agreements can ease international criticism, reduce global market anxiety, and create the illusion of progress, even when the underlying tensions remain unresolved. For both Iran and Israel agreed to a temporary ceasefire.
They already know they're not warring on nothing. They just doing other stuff
far beyond
while we be distracted.
Situation. For Iran,
I say prepare just in case, but still build your business. Keep, pushing forward. Keep on reading. Keep on studying. Keep on keeping on.
To negotiate, which can help soften the global perception of Iran as an aggressor. This softened image can be strategically useful when seeking relief from sanctions, engaging in nuclear negotiations, or attracting investment from countries looking for stability in the region. By appearing cooperative on the global stage, Iran can attempt to create diplomatic openings that serve its broader long-term goals. Israel too benefits from the optics of a ceasefire. In the face of growing global scrutiny over its military operations and treatment of Palestinians, agreeing to a ceasefire allows Israeli leadership to counter criticism by presenting themselves as willing to pursue peace. This narrative is particularly important in maintaining support from Western allies, calming domestic opposition, and reassuring financial markets that ongoing conflict will not spiral into full-scale war. It also provides the Israeli government with breathing space to refocus on internal political challenges without the distraction of active military operations dominating public discourse. Meanwhile, global powers watching from the sidelines often welcome these staged agreements as convenient solutions to complex problems they are unwilling or unable to fully address. The United States, the European Union, and other actors can point to the ceasefire as evidence of effective diplomacy and stability, even if they privately recognize the fragile nature of such agreements. These narratives serve to reassure investors, protect oil markets, and reduce the risk of broader regional escalation that could disrupt the global economy. Yet, beneath the polished language of ceasefire declarations, the root causes of conflict remain untouched. Proxy groups remain active, core ideological differences persist, and military preparations continue behind closed doors. These staged agreements are not true peace but carefully managed pauses designed to serve political objectives on multiple levels. They temporarily quiet the noise of conflict while the machinery of tension continues to turn, ready to reignite as soon as circumstances shift. In this sense, the ceasefire becomes more of a strategic performance than a genuine resolution, crafted for global consumption while the real struggle quietly endures.
Exactly.
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and
trying
power
to make
outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room within 3
plotting on
minutes.
each other.
At the heart of the Iran-Israel conflict.
It's been so wild, man. I've been seeing so much wild stuff. I saw three fights yesterday because some little black vampire female had a nasty mouth. He probably was hungry, probably was mad because he had no food. You could just tell from the situation, man. And me, I don't argue with women, so I ignore them. But then she's getting off the bus. She got into another argument with a girl that was getting on the bus. Man, all I saw was arms swinging. Then the day before that, I saw a 20-year-old try to disrespect a OG, and the OG beat the trash out of this little boy, man. I'm so sick and tired of y'all little young dudes running y'all mouth. Not playing. Stomp, slams. Oh my goodness. He carried that boy around. He was. Alright, man. Let me go back to Morgan Freeman. Uncle Morgan, go ahead, man. Talk to him,
lie core issues that no ceasefire, however carefully negotiated, has ever truly addressed. These unresolved foundations keep the conflict alive beneath every temporary pause, ensuring that any agreement remains fragile. The most prominent of these issues is Iran's nuclear program, which Israel perceives as an existential threat. Israel has consistently maintained that it will not allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon, fearing that such capability would permanently shift the balance of power in the region. Despite negotiations, inspections, and international agreements, like the now fractured Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, deep mistrust lingers. Israel believes Iran's true ambitions are hidden behind diplomatic maneuvers, while Iran sees Israel's constant threats and covert sabotage as proof of its own vulnerability. Beyond the nuclear issue, both nations compete for regional dominance through conflicting ideologies that shape their foreign policies. Iran positions itself as the leader of what it calls the axis of resistance, aligning with groups and governments that oppose Western influence and Israeli policies, particularly concerning the Palestinians. Israel, on the other hand, works to maintain its military and economic superiority while building strategic alliances with Arab states through agreements like the Abraham Accords. These competing visions for the region are not easily reconciled because they are deeply embedded in national identities and religious narratives that have been fueled for decades. The Palestinian issue remains another unresolved core that keeps tensions simmering. Iran's unwavering support for Palestinian groups like Hamas directly challenges Israel's security and political objectives. Every flare-up in Gaza or the West Bank reverberates back into the Iran-Israel relationship, making any peace between them contingent not only on bilateral negotiations, but also on broader regional conflicts that remain highly volatile. Adding to these layers of the personal political incentives that drive leaders on both sides to maintain a state of conflict. In both countries, hardline governments gain strength by portraying the other as a constant looming threat. This fear helps consolidate power, justify military spending, and maintain national unity during periods of internal unrest. Leaders find it politically convenient to keep the narrative of an enemy alive, making genuine long-term peace not only difficult, but sometimes undesirable for those in power. Ultimately, these unresolved core issues act like embers beneath the ashes of every ceasefire. Even as the world celebrates moments of calm, these fundamental disagreements quietly sustain the tension. They ensure that without courageous and unprecedented political shifts, any peace agreement will be temporary at best, always vulnerable to collapse under the weight of deeply entrenched mistrust, competing ambitions, and ideological confrontation that continues to define the Iran-Israel relationship. And so, while the world applauds the headlines and celebrates the handshake, beneath the surface the storms still brews. This ceasefire between Iran and Israel is not peace, it is a pause. A carefully staged performance crafted for cameras and headlines. While the roots of conflict remain buried deep in history, ideology, and unresolved pain. True peace requires more than silence. It demands trust, sacrifice, and the courage to confront the truths that both sides have avoided for decades. This fragile calm will remain just that, fragile. A thin layer of quiet stretched over a battlefield still very much alive. Because real peace is not written in ink. It is written in the hearts of those willing to face the truth and break the cycle.
And that's the closest place you can find the law is where? In your heart. See, this is what evil keeps forgetting. Evil keeps forgetting about good. About good. Good always wins at the end, man. So it's time for you to pick a side, everybody. Pick a side, man. Pick your side and stay there. Don't be straddling no fence like the Gualas try to do. 1 minute they brown, next minute they on the Slavic side. 1 minute they are more, next minute they on the Slavic side, man. They be playing the 50 like a mom, man. You hear me? Terrible. That's that Uncle Morgan. Free man. Not freed man. He's a free more. I just hope he all the way 100% right. Man, when I saw the topic, I said, let me share this with the people real quick. So yeah, man. Listen, Mr. Morgan. Let's go.
That day, my friends,
bro, y'all can run and hide and jump in. Bro, you can't. The truth, no matter how much you hide, no matter how much you run, the truth is going to always be the truth. Peace.
Good luck and thank you, Messi. Thank you for staying with me on this journey into the hidden reality behind what the world calls peace. May you carry this understanding forward, not just in politics, but in life itself.
Right.
Remember, true strength isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about having the courage to confront what lies beneath. Stay wise, stay strong, and may your journey always be blessed. Good luck and thank you.
Man, don't make my eyes worry, man. He said, stay strong. Man, stay strong. Yeah, y'all, stay strong, fam. Stay strong, man. Let's see some other things real quick. I want to give a shout to Sheikh Amaga, tell him man he ill. Because he went in, man. He been going in past couple days. And, oh, let me see something real quick. This is my Facebook channel, y'all. Go to my Facebook, man. There's a whole bunch there too. And my Instagram. And my TikTok. Whole bunch of stuff, man. Let me see, yeah. 1 second. I'm looking for something. All right, this is my Facebook channel, y'all. Anybody want to check out my Facebook that don't know already? It's my Facebook channel, Truth. Right. So on the left is the original Statue of Liberty. The one on the right is the hijacked Statue of Liberty. Okay. They took down. They take stuff. They took. It took my profile picture out. My profile picture was about the days of Algiers being paid tribute. You see it right here. Look, it's right here. But why it's not here? Man, they doing all kinds of stuff, the computers and stuff, man. And they know you a true teller, bro. Trust me, they know. They know who we are. I'm gonna run down a couple things. Y'all can see a couple things. Chickamauga. Is one of my videos. Assaulting with all the sway on the Chesapeake Bay. BEY is on post. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You already know. Alright. See, even earlier today with me, right? When I left out earlier, I had kind of like a little attitude because I just was tired of Iran making comments and all this, and so I kind of blasted off at first until I talked to some elders and they set the whole thing straight, man. They said, nah. Well, maybe I gotta say it, all right? Yeah. Well, look, no assimilating this way. No assimilating this way. Ain't no. We don't assimilate to shit. No, man, we assimilate to Allah, the Father of the universe. That's it. That's what I'd assimilate to. Yeah. I don't assimilate to nothing else. Yeah. Anything else is against our science and our mathematics and our way of living. Us Turks in America, us Muslims in America, the Atachtons, the Aboriginals, the Originals, right? The Moors, the Indigenous, right? That's us. That back to Africa shit, boy. It's cool. Okay, but it's cool. Some of it is on the Ameximet. That's cool. Man, honestly, I got so much respect for Ibrahim Traoré, man, because we ain't got nobody with that kind of money and that kind of power and that dig in, dig in against evil. Yeah, we digs in for that. Yeah, it's time for it to go, man. We know who we are. We know what's going on. So, Iran, where the fuck is y'all bitch asses at, and what the fuck is y'all bitch asses talking about? Y'all talking smack, watch your mouth. Y'all know how us North Americans really are. Now, if you want to smoke, it's right here for you. It's right here for you. It's right here for you. Let you know. We at war, we ready. We been ready. See? I come out the front door. Ready. It's not a game, man. Pastor Moore, I love y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. It's been wild, right? But like I said, don't get so tripped up and flipped up in this possibly not gonna happen World War III. Man, it's looking like it's a whole act. Watch. I'm trying to tell you, watch this, y'all. Watch this. They're gonna play a lot of mental games. And remember, they got these splinter groups that will start stuff, right? Morgan Freeman was talking about that also. Then he was talking about the people that can go online and make up fake videos like something's going on and it really ain't even happening. Yeah. People do that on purpose. Like, your life is all about that. Like, to just push out lies. Do you know that I don't care what you're into. I don't care what your religion, whatever you into. We have, no matter how you look at it, us as humans, we have two selves. We have a higher self and we have a lower self. If you operate on your lower self, that is finite. And finite is what? It stops. It's dead. It dies out. Because it's dirty, funky, lewdness, evil, wicked. All that shit dies out. But the higher self, right? Mixed with your knowledge of self, mixed with your kundalini, right? Now you, with your five senses in line with your soul, right there, man, you can weave through all types of shaitanic readings, people, all, man, lower stuff, all that, man. All that. And what I've noticed lately is this is not nothing to me. I'm not trying to be braggadocious or nothing like that, man. But it just feels good to me to know that some people understand what I do and understand my work or overstand my work. So when I get stamped by the people, when I get stamped by elders, man, that makes me feel like all of my hard work is paying off. It's a good feeling. I'm gonna get out of here. I love y'all. Stay strong. It's Pastor Moore. Keep on keeping on, y'all. Keep on keeping on. Peace. Peace. Let me